beats. Yeah, and there's also something.
I think Chris might have enough, but Apex is pulling him in quickly. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, it's a dead heat. I think we've got a dead heat.
It's going to work well for Willie again.
Yes, both.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that comment is far.
Look at how many cars are trying to go through here. They're three wide coming through. Squiddy's got fed out into the wall. They're two wide coming up through the cutting.
Oh, he's making a move on Viking Racer now into the dipper and does it. He's gone around the outside into the dipper. What a move.
Oh, he runs a little bit wide. He's on the grass.
Keep it clean. Come on, Oil, bring it home.
Oh,
It's
Showman's
gonna be
got the run.
Stand finish. Who's going to get it? Showman's got it. Oh, he's just taken out the lead on the
Left side down the hill. Captain's got his nose in front just barely. Oh, he has full trust in him. They're still side by side. Captain takes the position around the outside down the hill.
Around the outside.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to have three wide. Adam's going wide. Adam's going deep on the brakes on the Rexy. Gets the pass done. Goes Adam from
Fourth to first.
What a move.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Wheel-to-Wheel YouTube channel. Tonight you are going to witness our round one of season 13, first season in 2023. We're here at Laguna Seca for a thrilling three-race format. Have a couple of different tyre rigs which we'll run through with you at the start of each race. Before I get bogged down in details though, I'll introduce you to the rest of the commentary and visuals team. So my name is Captain Lowside, I'm lead commentator for tonight. Joining me in the comms box is Dale Teagues. Welcome back, Dale.
Hey, Captain Lowside. Yeah, it's been a while since I've sat in the chair here. So yeah, looking forward to opening round season 13. I think it's going to be pretty exciting to see how the season shapes up and kind of who emerges from the pack for this season. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely keen to get into it. So on that note, presenting our visuals for tonight is Herb's Herbal Green Tea. He's back in our visuals box as well after a short hiatus with some hardware issues, but he's back on board now. Welcome back, mate.
Thanks for that. Yeah, good to be back. Can't wait to see all the races and yeah, looking forward to doing the visuals this season. Yeah, and you can all enjoy 60 frames per second from now on.
A nice fresh 60 frames a second coming to you from a PS5. So visuals should look nice and tasty. On that note though, it seems that we should get qualifying kicked off shortly. Dale, are you able to send a message to our lobby host?
I sure can.
So with that, we've got a couple of different cars here that we'll run through and heaps of different liveries to show off, all on screen. In our Div 1 lobby, Dale, we seem to have a few standout cars. I think that theme might be running through into Div 2 as well. So I've got my eye on a couple of people. Interesting to see how qualifying shapes up. Conditions here do end up being a little bit cloudy, so track temps might not be as high as we have seen them throughout practice. So I think that can throw some people off. It certainly threw me off at my pace, or at least that's the excuse I'm going to run with. But yeah, qualifying times, as we can see on screen at the moment, people in practice have been dipping into the high minute 20s, which is absolutely flying for anyone, let alone Div 2. So be keen to see where the dust lies in just a few short minutes. So Dale, do you have your eye on anyone? Who do you think is going to take out pole?
Yeah, I think half the field really are in it. Definitely the Porsche strong here. I've definitely seen some of the guys hit mid to high 20s in the Porsche. Madriski in the Lexus. I know historically the Lexus has been pretty strong around here, throwback to when Adam was in here quite a number of seasons ago. Mazda's always a strong competitor with touching at the wheel behind that one, and also the McLaren. I mean, the field's just that strong. You can cast the net over them. I think they're all capable of doing a high 20. They're all capable of it. So, yeah.
They absolutely all are, and fair enough. I don't blame you at all. We've been calling Div 2, Div 1.5 for quite a few seasons now, and that still rings true. The tightness of this pack and how closely they can race and be within tenths of each other. We've seen the entire field within a second from first to 13th to fourth. So anything can happen, but we'll go through some liveries. We are seeing these first on screen for this season. So starting off with Touchy or Untouchables, he's leading our group around for the open lap. Self-proclaimed fastest lap and most wins in a 9-round season king. So he's putting a bit of a target on his back, if I do say so myself. But that livery is absolutely cracking. Big shout out to his Milo days as well. Was once a cracking team, and unfortunately no longer now. So who knows? We might see a return of the Milo team in the future. Following him though is Madrisky in a fantastic livery, which I am actually trying to pick. The theme there might just be a bit of a Mexican, a red and yellow flame. There I thought it might have been a flash for a second, but we can see him overtake Touchy, so maybe he is taking home a couple elements of the flash and hoping to take some of that speed into qualifying. And wrapping up the top three is Viper's Fang in the CP motors with Torsha, hoping to see some good times out of him. That car is
Yeah, it's a very strong competitor. He's got his teammate MCDC right behind him as well, so it looks like they're potentially trying to work together. Both of them are going to be very quick around here. Followed by 13R, Oil in My Blood in that awesome looking drop top Suzuki. It looks fantastic out on track, and yeah, let's hope you can handle that car tonight because it's going to be exciting. Following that is the Quadrifolio team with DCE Racing at the wheel of the Jaguar. That's going to be another strong competitor, sponsored by Easy Clean there on the side. Another one to look out for. It will maybe struggle in tyre, but it is strong around here still.
Yeah, they absolutely are a fantastic car. I know my team leader has been pushing for them for quite a few seasons. They're yet to end back up in the Jag, but cracking on with this, Suglad, they're coming around for a lap now. So Suglad is in Future Studios Racing. He's a new team owner for the season and has built himself a team. Fantastic green and yellow livery there. He's coming across the line for a really good time, 1:21.4. This order is now going to be all messed up, so we'll jump down into 6th place with Molten Ash. He has just come off the back of doing his div. He's for Jonesy tonight. Another 13R Autosport member in the lovely carbon black, red and orange livery. We'll jump down one more to Darth Berserk, AMS Excavations. Damn Hexagons, that's your team, Dale. Almost had a mental blank there. Fantastic looking, clean livery. Loving the colours from that one. Really stands out.
Yeah, shout out to Viking for putting that together for us. He's another one that's backing up tonight, so 4th race for him already. And leading the way, Gimp by 0.005 in that McLaren. TDR, Team Dodgy Racing, sponsored by 180 Embroidery. So yeah, MRs to the front, really. 3 MRs, is it? Yeah, 3 MRs leading the way. Got the McLaren
yeah,
number 1, 4, 2 and 3.
We certainly did pick it. It's something that I think Gran Turismo is making strides in terms of being able to drive mid-rear cars, and it's certainly showing that even with the corkscrew, you can certainly get these cars around in quite a quick time. So I think that's covered off everyone. Oil with a leading pace of a minute 20.9. I'll be honest, I didn't expect that. So Oil, fantastic to see some pace there. That actually well and truly trumps my Div 1 qualifying time in the same car. So big things coming from Oil in My Blood.
Tell you what, the in-car view in that car is awesome to sit and watch. You've got the kind of 2 rear view cameras on video. It looks like either side of the steering wheel. It's an awesome car to look at from the cockpit view.
It absolutely is, and it's honestly a bit of a ride to drive too. You don't need to shift it that high in the rev range. You certainly can, but it absolutely chews through the fuel. So we'll expect to see Oil take some more fuel efficient shifting in races. But fantastic to see him leading by 1.5 tenths. That's obviously quite a decent margin there.
Yeah, he's being hounded at the moment by Untouchables at the moment, who he kind of peeled off on his first lap, so I'm not too sure what that was about, and he's kind of just lapping about. He hasn't really put one together yet. So that trophy might be at risk this round unless he can throw something together in the second half of this session. As he just said, a 22-4, which puts him up into 9th, just a 10th ahead of Darth Berserk at the moment, who is about to finish his lap. So I'm hoping he can improve on that, because I know he's got 21s in him as well. That'll just really compress the field a little bit further. No.
Yeah, Darth has done a couple of 21s in the Div 1 lobby, just before picking up, so I expect to see a little bit higher from him and jump out of 10th place there. But can see a few people jumping into the pits, grabbing some fresh fuel, fresh rubber, and on that slightly lighter fuel, might be able to drop up a couple of tenths. So we're sitting pretty first there. Gim is doing the same thing, coming up on sauce, and we'll be hoping to snatch that pole position.
Yeah, I mean, they're about 1.5 tenths behind him, but then it's really close. Gimp, Vipers, Fanning, MCDC, they're all within 2.5 tenths of Oil first there, so man, this is not over by a long shot. And then you've got Suitlad about half a second behind Oil, so
yeah, again, incredibly tight. I mean, we picked it. Yeah, we picked it from the start. We knew this was going to be very, very close qualifying. The top 7 was split by about a second, and even though, there we go, we are looking at top 8 split by a second now. We just jumped up into the mix.
DCE moved up into 7th.
DCE, fantastic air and a jag. Looking very clean with a slightly revised Scuderia Quadrifoglio livery there. Sticking true to their colours, their theme, but still subtle changes.
So Mid's about to start a flying lap here, I think, and he's one who is also capable of a sub 21 lap at the moment, as MCDC just moves into 2nd as well. Just pips Gimpman there in the McLaren, but I think, the same with Drissy, I think he's maybe one to watch here. He could be on for a bit of a cracking time. He's put fresh softs on, he's on his first flyer after doing that. Looks like we may have some incorrect lobby settings though. Traction control needs to be allowed even though we don't run with it.
Got a Gran throwing up. Yeah, it can be a bit painful. It seems to be affecting some drivers and not all as well. It's very inconsistent. Of all things, it actually happened to me in a Div 1 lobby. I started race 3 with traction control on versus race 1 and 2 without it, so that I got swamped a little bit, but hey, it's the cards we are dealt sometimes.
Should we call them to cancel the race after quali and do manual grid so you can change that setting?
Yeah, we'll definitely have a look at the lobby settings and see how we land. Maybe screen choice qualifying and worst case scenario, absolutely reset a manual grid. Short delay to the start of the race.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because you can choose not to start the race after quali's over.
You can. So we're seeing Suitlad and Mid set new laps. Suitlad jumping up into podium spots, just 0.021 behind MCDC. And Idrissi was on a good lap there as well, but the gap between 2nd and 5th, or 6th, sorry, is incredibly tight. It's basically a 10th of the 2. And Mid is just outside of that gap, meaning that he is sitting in 6th position. Last lap flyer, he will maybe just get this in. I can't remember if GT7 allows you to finish the hot lap that you're on, or once you hit 10 minutes, that's it. Qualifying is done. Oh no, Mid's off at Captain's King, so I've just totally jinxed him there, and that's his qualifying well and truly done. So 6 positions as high as he's going to get. Who else is on a hot lap? Viper's Fang in 5th. He is coming around the last corner now, and potentially on for a good one.
Oh no, it's
maybe
just missed out now. Okay, so the settings said that TCS had no limit, so it should be available for him to turn it off.
Yeah, so that might just be a Darth issue, unfortunately. I wonder how many others it might be affecting. Hopefully not too many, but we'll see if it can reset itself Oh, Touchy jumping up with another improvement as well. Jumping into 7th place. I think that's actually qualifying. Malt Nash coming through for the line, not going to improve in 9th. Vidruski now finishing as well. And Darth Berserk is the final driver on track.
Yeah, I think he had parked it for a bit because of the traction control issue. But yeah, I can see that definitely on. It's weird with the settings because should enable anyone to turn it off unless I'm misunderstanding that setting. No limit should mean
No.
it.
With no limit, it means that you can do what you wish, but unfortunately it means that Darth is still stuck with traction control on, which certainly hampers your ability to drive in GT7 and especially with our lobby and our divisions and our skill set among every driver. It's one of those things that you really don't want it on. It really just slows you down under all circumstances. So unfortunately, hopefully with this reset we can get his off. Alrighty, 7 laps. So race 1, as I mentioned before, we've got a couple of different formats for this round tonight. So race 1 is a 7-lap sprint, all out on a set of soft tyres. There's no other mandatory tyre. There's no need to pit stop, and there's no need for fuel. There's plenty of fuel in the tank to get around for 7 laps. So it's really an all-out sprint. We're going to see the Porsche get a pretty good start, as will Gimp in the McLaren. The Suzuki can get off the line pretty well, but you do have to manage its wheel spin. So hopefully for Oil, he'll be able to maintain that first position. I say we stay up front, Herbs, and jump on with MCDC and just see how this first lap pans out. Should be getting some lights on in a moment. There we go, 1 light, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to be lights out, and we're off. So the Porsche does get a pretty good start. Oil gets a bit of wheel spin, but actually manages it pretty well and holds out first place through this first little kick. Gimp is trying to challenge NCDC in turn 1 here. Oil goes very defensive, keeping that first place, playing it smart. We're going to see Biff and barging in the back. Plenty of lag as well here. A couple of people into the dirt, but for the most part of it, everyone's
Wipers is off.
slowly
Norton
filtering
Nash
in.
and DC have spun it, turn first right-hander. Bit of contact
Turn
between them, but
3 there. That's unfortunate. Each trying to go 2, maybe 3 wide there in the first lap, and who knows, a little bit of lag can play absolute havoc throughout all of this, unfortunately.
I think they both just took a slightly wider entry to the corner and just called tyres they could turn in.
Absolutely possible. Oil taking absolutely all of his track limits there as best as he can without actually getting a penalty, but MCDC is absolutely hassling Oil for this lead position early on in the race. Meanwhile, Gimp is being hassled by Lidrisky as well. I'm seeing a couple of lag spikes as well, so hopefully the drivers are experiencing these and not going to send each other in the shadow. Oil holding out that first place for race 1, for lap 1. Plenty of pressure on this entire group. It's fantastic to see how close it is, and the fact that no one's come guts just yet.
Darth's still got traction control stuff on.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. I wonder what the glitch there is for him. Seems to be an isolated issue, both thankfully and unfortunately.
Well, this is building that gap a little bit.
So Oil jumping out.
7.5, 8 tenths.
Yeah, jumping out to a fairly comfortable lead in a lap and a bit so far. So MCDC just holding on there, and it's about an even split between our podium sitters at the moment. Sutlad and Madrisky going nose to tail. Sutlad getting around the outside through this section of the course. It's actually very impressive. He's going to have mid on his absolute tail through Captain's Kink. And of course, Untouchables is right there for good measure as well. Struggles a little bit through the kink in the lead up to Corkscrew. Vidrisky is certainly keeping the pressure on Sutlad going. He might have taken this position, but still right here. I'm not going to let you take it back. That Mercedes on absolute fire through Corkscrew. Such a stable car for being able to just pull out that half a second gap on Vidrisky and really just solidify that overtake.
Yeah, it was a good car to drive in pre-season, so not surprising to see it up at the point into the field early on.
It absolutely is. So we can see down in 9th and 10th as well, multinational DCE, they are sort of nose to tail. They're having a little bit of a battle after their first lap incident. That might be one for the stewards to review it and see what's going on there, but I reckon those two might be fairly close for the rest of the race. Jumping back up front, Oil taking about a 1.2 second lead now, fairly comfortable. MCDC and Gimp separated by about a second, and same with Gimp and Sublad and Risky. So everyone's starting to settle in on this sprint here, and really just finding their groove, waiting for the opportunity to close down a gap, or open up a gap, and chase down whoever it is that we're trying to shake. But looking fairly comfortable now. It's mostly going to come down to how many mistakes you make, which is highly likely around this track. Not to jinx anyone, but it certainly happens far easier than like.
And you've just jinxed Oil. He has almost lost it on the second last corner. He's gotten into the dirt a little bit. That 1.8 second lead is now down to 8 cents and closing.
He is absolutely fine. What are you talking about? No, unfortunately, yeah, Oil was the one to cop my commentator's curse there, sadly, but still holding the lead, so plenty of time to make that gap back up. He's done it once, so he can do it again.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be
20.4 though.
Yeah. That's a quick time. Lap 2.
That is a fantastically quick time. I'm unfortunately backed up by that 21.5, like I say. A small mistake can go a long way, and it certainly has with MCDC. Right back on the tail of Oil. This battle is certainly heading up, and it's going to introduce Gimp and Sublad into this mix. MCDC and Oil battling away with Oil defending. He's going to be slower, and then of course MCDC is not able to get past. So it does slow you up, and what looked like a second gap is now basically a full-way battle for first place.
Yeah, and this doesn't happen very often, but MCDC's got the best tyres out of the group as well, which shouldn't be too much of an issue, just more so on the final lap it could come into play.
Yeah, it certainly can. The 7 laps isn't... Oh, we've got Sublad off in the distance. He's 6th. He's dropping down the list now. He's back down into 7th. Unsure what happened there, whether it was a self-made mistake or just a tap from someone. Unfortunate, dropped out of the effective battle for first place.
As stable as that Mercedes is, it's got the similar sort of characteristics to the Mustang in that it loves a good understeer. So I wouldn't be surprised if on that second last corner maybe just dropped the wheel on the dirt and send him sideways into the fence, most likely.
Yeah, it's very easy to do around here. The margin between absolutely nailing a corner and dropping a tyre into the dirt and just cooking it completely is so very fine and very easy to make. So unfortunately for Sublad, it made a self-made mistake and has dropped him from 4th down to 7th there. So plenty of time to make it up in the rest of the round. Race 2 and 3, plenty of opportunities. Oil is able to hold out on MCDC at the moment, keeping that sort of 3 to 4 tenth gap. The Suzuki is incredibly strong in a straight line, especially compared to the Porsche, so we will hopefully see Oil be able to defend in any of the overtaking zones and where the Porsche shines in the corner corners. Yeah, be able to keep that lead.
Tell you what, a good view to watch this is actually from the in-car shot of Oil at the moment. You can see everything going on behind him in the 2 rearview mirrors either side of the wheel. And just also looking back to the rear wing as well is also a great view. You can just see MCDC and Gitman there, and then just Madriski and Touchy a little bit further back. It's a good thing to see kind of what's going on everywhere.
That is a fantastic point. I've never actually looked at that. Yeah, seeing MCDC right and fairly square in the viewpoint of Oil's rearview mirrors is fantastic to see and watch. Yeah, like you say, being able to see Madriski and Sublad all sort of circulating around in the back there just highlights how quick these guys are and how close they are, even after 6 laps. MCDC with a great run through the kink, putting the
Same as
pressure
last
on
lap.
in the braking zone in the fourth group.
All of a sudden,
Yeah,
that
we
car
have
is
to
so
be-
big in the mirror.
Yeah, certainly made himself nice and present. The Suzuki is a very strong car, but that kink it's just so it takes a lot of finessing to be able to get around there well. But Oil certainly holding
Already
his own here at the
defensive.
moment, but he's
That's such a
taking-
final lap.
taking the defensive line, which is smart. MCDC tucked square under the bumper of Oil here, doing very well to keep up down this start finish line. Oil sticking defensive, going, I'm not going to give you this position all that easy at this later stage of the race.
Yeah, that long gear in the Porsche helps it stay in slip. It just is still hard to get the job done at the end of the straight though when the car you're following is a lot faster normally. So you will find it hard to get a move done. It will likely need a little bit of help from Oil to get the pass done, I think.
Oh, he's got his one mistake out of the way, so
That is an absolutely zero issue. I have full faith in Oil to be able to bring this on.
4/10 is the gap. Final time
It's
around.
going to be 2
Captain
tenths,
King
1.5 by
nails
the top,
it.
I think. Oh, yeah, he has nailed it this time.
Oil got a
gap
much
out.
better run through there. It actually, increased the gap. Good braking zone as well. MCDC actually dropped it back to about 8/10 gap. Oil nailing that last lap right at the crucial moment. Keeping it clean, keeping it smooth. He's going rounding the penultimate corner. Again, keeping it smooth, nice and consistent. Heavy under brakes. On the power in second gear. He's going to come home for the race win. Oil, race 1,
That's really
round
good to
1, season 13. That is fantastic to see. He needed that after his last couple of seasons. MCDC second, Giveman third, Midrisky fourth, Untouchables fifth, Viper's Fang sixth, Subat seventh, and Berserk unfortunately with his traction control issues sitting there in eighth. DCE with a big spin coming across the line in ninth, and unfortunately, Malt Nash crossing the line for 10th. So 13R first and last, bunching up the field in
Sandwich
the
pack.
13R sandwich, so to speak. Fantastic racing to see there. Really actually quite surprising, if I can be totally honest, to see Oil just absolutely, well, I don't want to say dominate, but lead every single lap of the race and take home the win. That's fantastic.
Don't want to say dominate, but lack of a better word.
Yeah, pretty
Gonna
much.
use it anyway.
First round back, my vocabulary has been lacking.
Oh man, no, but honestly, it is good to see. He used to be perennially the one driver. Obviously, life kind of gets in the way at times, and so it's just good to see him back up battling for wins opening round, because I think it's been a while between drinks for him. So it's really good to see him back up there.
Yeah, taking out the top spot's going to feel fantastic for Oil there. So hopefully he can continue to hold that pace and run down the rest of this round. But interesting to see, I'm just having a flick through the tyres there. MCDC and Oil are actually very good on their tyres. No surprises, I guess, from either of them. But Gimp, Midrisky and Untouchables were actually very close to needing to pit stop there. So race 2 and 3 might be a bit telling. We'll soon see.
Yeah, race
So end of
2 is
race
going to be
1.
hards only.
Sorry, go on.
I was saying race
Yeah, so
2
race
hards
2.
only, going from softs to hards, man. It's a big change to try and adjust to. That grip just is not there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, especially lap 1, all the understeer, a lot of the slides. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to make it, it makes it absolutely so much worse, and the mistakes are so much easier to make, and then the consequences of them are so much larger as well. So before we get into race 2, though, we'll jump off to a couple of our sponsor ads. Without them, we quite literally wouldn't be able to bring you these streams at the moment. They are fantastic supporters and enable us to do what we do. So with that, Herbs, we'll kick off into 180 embroidery, and what was the other ad that we had lined up for tonight?
180 and AMS. Here we go.
And welcome back. So big thank you to 180 Embroidery and AMS Excavations. They are a couple of our long-standing sponsors of our Wheel to Wheel League, and we thank you very much for your support. So, jumping into race 2, we will see a very similar format. It's still a sprint, effectively. It is 12 laps, though, so we will see the hard tyres only. No requirements for pit stops, no requirements for fuel, and basically an all-out sprint again, but on the harder tyres, so a little bit more finesse when it comes to braking zones and corner speed. Lap times will drop accordingly due to the lack of grip, but still see plenty of battles and probably more mistakes, if I can be a little bit morbid there for a second. So qualifying is by a hot lap qualifying, so you only get one flying lap to set your best time, and basically any mistakes that you make throughout that is game over. I made a mistake in my race, and it saw me at the in my qualifying, it saw me at the back of the grid. But that is the way it goes. So let's get that kick started, and we'll see where everyone lines up. So slight change of weather as well. We can see some cloud rolling in. It's going to change again the track temperature and the amount of grip available, let alone just going hard. So be interesting to see where we are going to place. I'm going to put bets again with MCDC, GIMP, oil, suit, Midriski. Basically the whole half the field again is going to potentially take out pole position.
There's about 10 guys there, but I think I got a good shot at this.
Yeah.
So Darth still can't change his TCS.
Interesting. Is it worthwhile him jumping out and back in while we've got a short break in between races? Oh no, qualifying started. That's unfortunate. We'll maybe see if we can stop it before the race starts and manual grid him back into place.
Because I ticked in just to test it, and I could change it.
Yeah, interesting. It seems to be a consistent issue with Darth Berserker showing off on my screen. Anyway, Untouchables back on the on-track action has managed to make it out in front again. The self-proclaimed fastest lap king has yet to get a fastest lap, so we will see if he can rectify that and take out pole position here. So hard tyres on this Mazda have been known to be pretty good. So yeah, see where he lines up.
Yeah, I mean, fastest lap king is all over the car. Most wins in the round 9 season all over the car. Combine it with Milo. I don't know if he's trying to get the Milo award as well. Might be running around with that.
I mean, it's pretty easy when you're in one. Yeah, pretty easy to get a Milo award when you're the only horse in the running for it. So I think that's the only Milo based livery in this season.
Nesquik is still better though.
Too good. The age-old debate between Nesquik and Milo. I mean, personally, I like them both, depending on the situation. But actually, I think I can see Untouchables with the traction control on now as well. So maybe it's not just an isolated issue. Gran Turismo is playing funny workers with a couple of people.
Yeah,
well, at least
got it on too.
Telemetry.
Taxi's got TCS as well.
Dramas left, right, and centre. So everyone's seemingly taking the change to hard tyres fairly well. I'm seeing too many mistakes here. People are hitting apexes where they need to, taking their braking zones quite nicely still. So they are doing, again, a better job than I have. I definitely struggled going from the soft to the hard in the Suzuki. So good to see Oil being able to hold it together and keep it on track. Again, you only get one shot. Qualifying here is going to be extremely critical over the 12 laps that we need to complete for race 2. So we'll stay up front with Untouchables just coming through the corkscrew now. This fast left-hander really have to get that on point, and traction control is certainly certainly flickering for him. So I would expect that to hinder him just that little bit. And coming down into the final left-hand corner, gets on the power. Obviously traction control limited. Running down to the start-finish line, MCDC on the tail, just in the background there. 124, pretty good for hard tyres. 23.1 from MCDC, really turning his hards on. Oil jumping up into second place as well. Gibman 23.7, DCE with a 23, Viper saying mid 24. What else have we got coming all across the line now? Maltmash in 8th. He is going to cross the line and stay in 8th. Didn't have a great lap, but with a minute 27 there. Suit Lad jumping up to a 23.5 into 3rd position. And Darth Berserk with a 24.6, jumping out of that last place. Alrighty, we might see a couple of people change around here and potentially leave the lobby and come back for a manual grid.
Just depends on whether Touchy cancels the race or not.
Yeah, it has. It is an automatic race start, so I believe it's an automatic race start anyway. So we'll see in about 5 seconds where everything's going to line up. But MCDC takes out pole position with Oil in My Blood not far behind him, and then a very small gap between Oil in My Blood and Suit Lad sitting there for 3rd place.
Touchy says this is stuck on, but he's just going to carry on. So yeah, it's up to Touchy to either kick off the race or cancel it at this point. So it looks like he's going to kick on.
Well, let's get into it. And unfortunately, with Gran Turismo, if it was a lobby-wide issue, we would be forced to do something. Unfortunately, with it being still isolated, where our hands are tied, the show must go on. Yeah, so MCDC gets a pretty good start in the Porsche off a line, and Oil in My Blood with the Suzuki is probably going to suffer some wheel spin, so it might succumb to Suit Lad. But again, Herbs, I think we stay up front, maybe jump off with Suit Lad in 3rd for a good run down into turn 1.
So must be just jumping around for people. So Touchy's is definitely on, Darth is off. So that's
Oil in My Blood with a fantastic start. Oil has obviously been practicing that and nailed it, taking the lead before the kink. MCDC not really happy with that, still on his tail there. So glad going wide with Gimman on the inside there, trying to just get that big Mercedes turn. Gim takes 3rd position. Touchables and Viper Swing and GC Racing are going hard at it again. Maltmash getting in the mix there as well with Viper Swing down for 7th and 8th. Everyone has luckily filed into a single file for the first half of this lap.
Yeah, incident free through the opening few corners. That's always good to see, especially on hards, cold. Man, it is difficult out there. But Madriski, I have jinxed him. He has gone off on the corner before Captain's King. He's just gone a little too. Might have just tipped the tyre in the dirt and just gone sideways. So yeah, his ride's back
so
now.
Easy to do. Cold hards,
Madriski's curse
cold
continues,
tires.
Unfortunately.
That sucks. I know exactly how it feels, and it's not pleasant, but it is what it is. So jumping back up to the front though, Oil up to that famous 6/10 lead. He's been able to hold that for race 1. Has been able to nab back 1st place after a qualifying, or being outdone in qualifying. Let's hope he can hold it.
Yeah, definitely. See if he can start off the 2 from 2. Yeah, that'll be a really good opening round for him. Definitely a long time coming. So hopefully it's a good kind of precursor to things to come for him. There's a good battle down here between 6th and 7th. Viper's Fang and Untouchables. Viper's Fang got Touchy at the final corner. Touchy's now got him back at turn 1 while also trying to get him moved on DCE. So he's trying to not let that traction control affect him. He's now made a move on DCE at the right-hander. It's going to be too wide coming through here, which is always very difficult, but they all...
We're too wide, 4 deep at this point.
Is taking the thing. Maltmash is coming from nowhere to try and take the outside off Darth Berserk here. Berserk's up the inside of DCE. It is 2x2 here everywhere. This is awesome racing. Oh, a little bit of a touch, but they both survive. Ash is kind of, I don't know, he just dropped off the back there, so must have just got an awkward run. But man, these 4 guys, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th.
I did catch just a small glitch from Moltmash. He is unfortunately PS4 with fan effect. We're seeing some chaos through
Touch. He's going a
Corkscrew.
little deep
Untouchables
there.
unfortunately cops the brunt of it all and is now dropped out of this pack. But DCE, Darth, and Vipers still battling away for 5th place here. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's good to see Darth get a bit of a better run now without traction control on, because that Mustang, it isn't a bad car. I mean, it's got to limit mistakes because it's Laguna, but it can be very, very strong in the right hands around here.
Which is different from days gone past, isn't it, Dale?
Yeah, it is definitely different from days gone by. I mean, the main thing on the Mustang used to be it was brick on wheels, but it also had terrible fuel. I think just with a lot of cars now, you just got to find the right shift point, and it wasn't too bad. I think I still had half a lap or more left on the 3rd race earlier today, so it's definitely a good overall package.
All things considered, that is fantastic fuel mileage, and to remain competitive is a massive step forward for the Porsche there. Porsche for the Mustang. Moltmash has jumped DCE Racing. We're seeing some yellow flags. Unfortunately for Gimp, he's obviously come off at the kink there. That is a that is a phrase that we should not take out of context. And unfortunately, just dropped that position of Superlad. Couple of seconds off, but still 2.5 seconds or so, or 2 seconds or so in front of Vipers. It's a massive battle back.
I think that's all Vipers needs now. He's just going to hone right in. It's almost down to 1.5 as the dirty tyres really take a long time to clean off coming out of coming down the hill there. So this Porsche is really going to hone in on the back of Gimp Man here. It's going to be an interesting battle in a few laps, I think, to keep up this momentum.
Absolutely is. And Vipers Fang really just seeing that mistake going, I can see red now. I'm trying to close it. Jump up one more position up in 4th. So jumping back up to the lead, the infamous 6 or 7 tenths gap is remaining exactly that between Northern Blood and MCDC. 4 laps in, not even halfway of the 12-lap race, and tyre wear is looking very similar. Fuel usage looking very similar as well. So it'll all come down to outpacing these top 2 at the moment. So that in 3rd, really just sitting pretty, to be honest, clean air, able to run his own race and just take home a very solid 3rd if all things stay the same.
He's in a dangerous spot here, no one in front, no one behind, alone with your thoughts, could get dangerous. Definitely time for a bit of a wander around this track.
You have to keep your focus up, especially around the group stage. You've been harping on about it. So easy to just drop a tyre into the dirt and sayonara.
It's one of those, it is such a fun track, but it's one of those ones you can be slightly off your line a little bit. In normal tracks it wouldn't really be big of an issue, but then you got those sausages that most of these cars do not enjoy grazing up against, and so it just spits you out. So as you said, focus all the way, because it's not very friendly for any small mistake.
We're not seeing much of a change now. Yeah, a lot of people have settled into a 1.5 second gap between each person, which can disappear, as we've seen with Gimp. Solid battle with Suglad for 3rd there, and has dropped 4.5 seconds off. So that was only a small mistake too, and it cost him a position and 5 seconds.
Oh, definitely. I think we're about to see Touchy probably be in line for race 3 pole. Unfortunately, that traction control is not enabling him to put many times together right now, and he's got Madriski right up behind him within a second now and closing quickly. So yeah, I don't think there's much Touchy can do. Props to him for continuing on here. Unfortunately, he really won't be able to put up much of a fight.
Good old electrical dramas in if it was in the real world, and he just has to lump it and live with it. It'd be risky. Certainly looking to recover after the first lap mishap, and it's right on the tail now of Untouchables. Let's see if he's going to be able to make a dead start finish straight here. Gaps sits at about 4 tenths on the corner exit. It is dropping enough. I'm 100% sure. I think we're going to see him move this brake to nothing going there.
I love it. These guys at the front trading fastest laps at the moment. Oil 22.7 at the moment, quickest lap. Same lap MCDC did 22.8. They've been 23 flat. They're doing quick times here on the hards and very solid times here, and they're just breaking away a little bit. I don't think there's really much that anyone else can do to really catch up and make this a battle for a three-way battle towards the end. So it's definitely just up to those two guys to keep it straight and really worry about it on the final lap. But we do
certainly have to play
also
the long game. Yeah, certainly having to play the long game here. Even though it is only 12 laps, it is still a longer race we have to keep with it. So Oil on My Blood was purple coming across at second 2 and 3. Unfortunately, it's just dropped out of it in that last couple of minutes. So nothing going for a further fastest lap, but has just managed to break that switch between easily sitting at about 9 tenths to a second. So that gap ever so slightly increasing.
The battle might be on for fourth soon, so Vipers is slowly gaining on Gimpman almost every lap here. He just set his PB on lap 6 at the moment, and he's now within a second of Gimp in that McLaren. So, as we know, that Porsche is a little bit OP here, so yeah, the longer we go on, I think this is going to be where the fireworks are going to happen.
Yeah, battle of the big rears between Vipers and Gimp as well. So yeah, could be spot on that gap, just under a second. It's been slowly whittled down over the last few laps. But still, it's one thing to close the gap; it's another thing to overtake, especially around this track. It can be extremely difficult to find an opportunity and make a clean overtake.
Yeah, look, shout out to everyone in the chat here. Like the stream, share it, get everyone watching. The rumours are at the moment is there is a barbecue happening at the bottom of this corkscrew, according to Zoo. So the sausages are ready to go now.
Oof, sign me up, that sounds delicious.
Let's just
haven't had dinner yet, so
take the big Willie and go to the barbecue in the middle of the infield as well.
In the middle of the infield, middle of the desert, job done.
Yep. Well, here we go. Vipers is right on the back of Gimpman now. It is closing right up here. Pressure applied all the way. He's half a second quicker that last lap. He is really having him back there. So it's going to be interesting to see if Gimpman can fight down on that red ball and really go for it here and hold him off.
Yeah, the gap is staying somewhat consistent through the first sector, so it will probably come down to Captain's Kink and the corkscrew as to who's going to close it in. This run down, Viper's taken a couple of tenths off.
Oh no!
Gimpman says thank you very much and take those gaps back. Viper's saying that's all it takes. That is all it takes. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, and those tyres are going to be dirty the rest of the lap as well, so it will be hard to control. He's now got, it's given Darth Berserk a bit of a sniff here right now as well, who's running blue compared to his time at the moment. So yeah, sometimes that's all you need, just a sniff of the car in front, and to really refocus and close the gap down.
Ooh, jumping back up in a second, sorry Dale, something has happened to MCDC. He's now 5.8 seconds behind Oil, and Souplad is right on the tail there in that sort of 1 to 1.2 second range. So missed something there, but he's had a lap 7. Lap 7 was not kind, so I wonder if the Porsche has been bit by both MCDC and Viper's Fang actually. Unfortunate, but does give that little bit more breathing space to Oil. Souplad is just dropping off the back of MCDC again, so it'll be interesting to see if he can hold on and make any moves in the next couple of laps.
Not sure. I mean, MCDC was already half a second quicker on that last lap as well, so I think it's one of those things with Porsche. Yeah, he's made a bit of a mistake, but it is what it is. That Porsche is just so hard to keep up with around here. It's hard to make moves, but if you're in front in that Porsche, man, that's where you want to be.
It's a difficult car to overtake, yeah. Yep,
Definitely.
that track position is absolutely vital both in the Porsche as well as around this track. So yeah, it would take a lot for Suit Lad to jump up into second place, but hey, we've still got 4 laps to go. Anything can happen.
Oh, definitely, but I mean, yeah, MCDC's putting the hammer down. He's just under 23 flat that final lap. He's only a couple tenths off of Oiley's fastest lap as well there. Suit Lad with 24.1 that final time round. I know there's not much difference in tyre wear, but I still think just that little bit of extra front grip the Porsche still has is just really helping it through the midsection.
Yeah, it is such a front focused vehicle as well, like front tyre focused vehicle. Yes, the rears do wear quicker, but without that front end grip, you're absolutely going nowhere. So I reckon MCDC is doing a good job on tyre management. Consistently has had good tyres, race 1, race 2, so that is going to absolutely come into play race 3, where we're looking at softs and mediums. You are looking at using all of the grip available, so we'll run through that in a bit more detail when the time comes. But that gap is actually being reduced. The gap between Oil and MCDC is now just under 5 seconds, sort of teetering at that 5.1 range. It was out to about 5.5, 5.6. As it gets out to 5.4, so it's dynamic, it changes. But interesting to see though. MCDC seems to be on a bit of a warpath. I dare say he is closing in on Oil still, but that is a big gap to try and make up.
2 to go. Yeah, he's going to need a big thing, but I think where it's starting to close up really is 5th, 6th, and 7th. So Vipers hasn't really been able to bridge the gap away from Darth. It's still sitting about 1.2, and then you've got DC a further 8 tenths behind in 7th. So essentially, if Darth can catch up, start a battle, DC will be right there with them straight away too, but they're both just kind of one small mistake away from maybe sliding down the order there. And as we've just seen, Vipers go a little bit wide on the exit of turn 3, that has put Darth within half a second of him right now and in prime position to potentially make a move. If you can kind of...
Darth has just set a personal best. Yeah, Darth just set a personal best first sector as well, so he is absolutely finding his groove in the later stage of this race, setting personal best laps as well. So yeah, that 6 or 7 tenths could be on for the final lap. Jumping slightly further down, Midrewski has been able to disperse with Untouchables and put about a 6 or 7 second gap on him for 9th, and Midrewski seems to be hunting down Maltnash for 8th as well, so there's only about a 1 second gap there, which has been decreasing, but again, 1.5 laps to go. Oh, as I say that, Maltnash just takes the dirt, but he seems to have survived. Oh, it's always nerve-wracking when you see that through that corner.
Yeah, and then you usually end up compounding it like you always did there, just breaking that a little bit later up the top of the hill and going a little bit wide into the corkscrew. He's really struggling to feel at the moment. Yeah.
And yeah, that gap, just a few tenths with Midrewski there, right? Dare I say a last lap move could be on here if Midrewski can line it up.
Yeah, it could be right on there. We're still here with Vipers fang Dark Berserk, about 8 tenths away from each other with DCE right there still as well. This 6, 7th is still very close again, just one slight little mistake there. Not that I want anyone to make a mistake, but I mean, it is easy around here. Hard tyres, final lap, it's getting really slidey now.
Anything is possible, but they all seem to make it fairly cleanly through Captain's King Darth Berserk, using all of that little AstroTurf on the edge of the curve there. So really looking to maximise his pace. He's shown off previously on stream and really shown his skill, but unfortunately, just probably not going to be able to be close enough to make a jump into this final corner. Jumping back up the front though, Oil in My Blood's already crossed the line and takes out race 1 and race 2. Fantastic effort there from Oil. MCDC in 2nd and Suit Lad in 3rd.
Yeah, you can see him recover and get a podium after race 1. He was on for a strong finish too. Gipman in 4th, Vipers in 5th. He holds out Darth, and then DCE just dropped off a little bit that lap. Maltnash looks like he had a bit of a drummer on lap 8. He's a little bit back there, and he's going to hold off Midrewski likely for that 8th spot. Yeah, I don't see a big lunge happening from half a second back. It's a little bit taily out of the final corner.
Both getting a bit of a slide on there. Molten Ash 8 and Risky for 9th. Pretty good results, all things considered. Midrisky was definitely on a late charge there and setting themselves up nicely for race 3 as well. So race 3 is not a qualifying, it is a hot lap. Jumping off with Untouchables as well for 10 C's. You've got obviously some win across the line. Yeah, unfortunately just not the race for Untouchables. But Oil taking out race 2. Big congratulations his way. Super consistent across all 12 laps. So really, really good to see.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's been a long time coming. Again, really happy to see his name back at the top of the leaderboard there. I think what's very interesting, we've got the two Porsche in the field here, but there was massively different levels of tyre wear across both of them. Yeah, I don't know, different driving style. It is a little bit different get used to the Porsche, but definitely a different style of really using those fronts. So I think that might be a little bit something to look for race 3, where it is borderline needing a second stop depending
on what. It's tough depending on what strategy you can make, and depending on how hard you're fighting in the first half of the race as well is a big thing on how much you're wearing through your tyres, and strategy call as well. Some people could start off on softs, and a lot of people I suspect will be starting off on mediums. So before we get too far involved with that, let's jump to some more sponsor ads there, Herbs. We should have Easy Clean, Hybrid Egg, and one more that I seem to be forgetting as well, I think.
Here we go.
Never scrub again with Easy Clean. Whether it's the shower or bath, grouting, patio, or even the kitchen sink, Easy Clean's advanced surface treatments restore, protect, and seal surfaces, reducing your cleaning time by up to 90%. With their lifetime guarantee, you can restore your surfaced areas to their original sparkling condition with effortless ease. Call 1300 146 136 or visit easyclean.com.au today. That's EZICLEN.com.au. Easy Clean today for an easier clean tomorrow.
And welcome back. We have just seen a couple ads from Hybrid Ag and Easy Clean, another couple of our sponsors for the season. And I can't forget our big main sponsor, Permobile. They are a fantastic sponsor, and I've taken the naming rights. So we are Permobile Wheel-to-Wheel Racing for Season 13. That's all of Season 13 as well, first and second half. So that will be running through until June 2023. And fantastic to have them on board. They do some really, really good work with mobility and the disability world in terms of being able to enable people to do things that they may not be able to beforehand. So really, really good to have them on board. And considering our league has got quite a few disabled people in our racing, and they do some fantastic efforts. And honestly, most of the time, outrace me and a lot of other fast people. So absolutely goes to show that anything is possible, and you've just got to put your mind to it. So Permobile, big helpers in achieving that. So moving on, race 3 is a 23 lap race. We are looking at both soft and medium tyres required, and it is a reverse grid. So whoever's finished in first, being Oil, is going to start plumb last. So let's get things kicked off, I think. Looks like everyone's ticked in. I think we still need to set the grid from what I see, and we can get race 3 off and running.
Yeah, not really following the same storyline from the Div 1 race, where everyone decided that it was brilliant to start on mediums no matter where you were on the grid. Molten Ash looks like he is going against the grain there, and he will be starting on softs, and I think he'll be the one in softs runner, so it's going to be very important for him to get some moves done early, get a good start, and just kind of lead from the beginning, because if you get stuck behind any medium runners, it can be pain to kind of get past them, and he may kind of waste that soft run if he doesn't put up. So I think that's going to be the main storyline to look for in the opening laps.
Yeah, very true. I am actually just going to send him a quick message there. Unsure if he's just forgotten about tyre changes.
No, he was on mediums initially. He did switch it to softs manually. At one point everyone was on mediums.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. He is going to be starting at the pointy end
about
too.
Second or third or something, I think.
Yeah, and that rocket start from the Suzuki that we've seen a couple of times from Oil is certainly going to pay dividends for starting that far up on the grid. So
we should probably start with him maybe.
I'm thinking we'll start with Molten Ash in third. Yeah, great idea.
In-car view might be good because you can see everyone piling up behind him and see him as he makes the move between Majewski and Touchy.
Fantastic idea. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, everything's up, all revs are up, and we're off. A little bit of a bog there from Molten Ash, but trying to
got nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. Touchy is closing that door. Majewski with a great start, and the Lexus has started to make a move there. We're seeing some rubber banding and some punching into turn 1. Everything looks to be relatively clean though. Molten Ash trying to not make it. Oh no, DCE's around, Viper's Fang's around, Gibbs caught up in that as well. Who else have we got? MCDC, oh no, massive dramas in turn 3, lap 1. That is not the start that anybody wants.
DCE struggling to get going, Oil survived it though, so he's on his charge to try and make it 3 from 3 tonight, but he will need to deal with Suitland Dark Berserk in front of him, so that's going to be very, very interesting to see how he can march his way up to the front through this race.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It seems that Molten Ash has been able to dispose of Untouchables as well. Unfortunately for Touchy, he's still dealing with that traction control, so it does hamper you a lot more than what you would think. A lot of people drive in Gran Turismo 7 traction control.
Darth's got it as well.
Just slows you down so much.
Darth's got the issue too.
Darth also sharing the issue, but going nose to tail, or sorry, nose to nose with Soulblade there. Soulblade jump around and Oil sets on his nose. Let's see if anyone goes with it. It's just dropped back by about half a second. There's not sure what happened to Oil on the start of that straight. Soulblade going for a dive under brakes into turn 1 on Darth Berserk, gets the job done pretty smoothly. Very, very nice from Soulblade.
Yeah, Darth didn't really go too defensive there. I wasn't sure what approach he would take. He's got his traction control stuff on, but you know, he still could make it hard for everyone and defend, have a bit of fun with it.
Absolutely can.
But I can also understand, you know, just make it easy and try and get a quick time, as quick a time as possible for yourself as well.
That's certainly the name of the game. Majewski though jumping out to about a 1.9, nearly 2 second lead on Molten Ash, who is on softs as well. So Molten Ash has actually found himself in a pretty good place, all things considered. He's relatively clean air, been able to dispose of touchables, and is able to just really start to hone in and race his own race and look after those softs for as long as he can. You are on a full tank of fuel, so you will rev quicker, but you will also be quicker on mediums once we get to the latter half of the race as well. So fully expecting him to come in around lap sort of 7 or 8, possibly even 9 if he can favour his side. You'll see a slight difference in strategy there as he goes quickest.
Yeah, he's taking a 10th out of Majewski that last lap. A lot of that really was in that second part of the lap where grip was really important. Coming out of the corner, swim down the hill there. But he should really start to close the gap from here on in, I would expect. I hope he is aware he is on mediums, because he may potentially be seeking that focus of let's just try to maintain the gap and kind of use him as the leader, but we'll see what he does. He has kind of taken another half a second out in his first half of the lap, so that's good. That's a good sign for him.
Yeah, it absolutely is. GIMP actually, I just noticed has taken fastest lap off at Mole Nash while on the lead. So 1:22.1 is absolutely. Oh, I had to talk about him, didn't I? I absolutely cursed the crap out of him. And Captain's King claims another victim. Unfortunately for Gimp, he's going to lose a lot of time, a lot of positions, and ends up clung last. Front end damage, both front wheels. Oh, that sucks.
Touchy's actually keeping up with these two, even with the traction control issue at the moment. He did the 22.2 last lap, so he was within the 10th fastest lap right there. So I don't know, traction control might. He's just taken fastest lap now. Here he is.
He's just done it. Fastest lap King took some warming up, but he has just set the fastest lap of race 3.
Traction control aided. So is it aided or a hindrance? We'll soon find out. Maybe traction control really warms up to these mediums because it definitely didn't help anyone on the softs or hard. So maybe it's that nice sweet spot. As he's half a 10th purple again at sector 1, gets a little loose though, but you know, he's got Molten Ash leading the way, leading in front of him, punching the hole in the air there, and just in front of him too. It's a good three-way battle between these guys, and Suitland just 1.5 off the back as well.
Yeah, Molten Ash has taken about a second, maybe 1.2 out of Midrisky over the last lap and a half. That gap was about 1.9, 1.8 seconds. She's now sitting at 6/10. Touchy's around to Captain's King.
Oh no.
Race 3 really showing to be the Captain's Kink race, unfortunately, and it's been two for the last two laps. Yeah, Touchy dropped down to 8th there, but jumping back up front, Molten Ash is being able to hold off on, Vidrisky is being able to hold off Molten Ash, still holding at about 1 second gap. It'll be interesting to see if Molten Ash is just going to tuck in behind and really just use that advantage of being on softs.
Oh, yeah, he's
overall track position, not just in terms of first or second.
He's taking time out a lot easier now. So lap 2 is flying with that 22.2 on mediums, but he's sort of 22.3, but he's back into the 23s, 23 flat final 2 laps. So Molten Ash is really slowly reeling him in. He should probably be on track to make a move by about lap 7 or 8 now.
Jumping down into 4th place, we can see Oil in My Blood has already disposed of quite a lot of this grid and making moves already. So he is, I think, purple in the first sector already. So looking to close that gap to Suitland real quick and start to make his play for a podium.
Yeah, I think the sea just parted for him on lap 1 when everybody seemed to, I don't know, just who knows what happened there. We'll be hearing about it all through the week, and surely we'll see some replays through the week. But yeah, he's almost 4/10 purple coming through down the corkscrew. What is going on here?
Oil in My Blood on his way to a solid 1:21 lap time here.
Now I don't want to put the knocker on anyone or even say this is not really their true pace, because not at all. But there have been some weird bugs that we've seen earlier on today. We had somebody clearly on mediums, but the game was giving them the time model and tire wear in group of the softs.
Yeah.
So there's some really funky things happening in Gran Turismo in this past week.
It's definitely not kind, but Oil's lap times are certainly reflective
of mediums.
Medium tyre, yeah. But interesting to see the difference between Untouchable's lap being at 22.154 and Oil in My Blood being at 22.5. The last sector is obviously where it all changes. Oil being 3/10 up on Untouchable's times and end up nearly 4/10 down is that last sector is obviously not kind to this thing.
Yeah, the Mazda is almost like an MR in its handling though. It does love those final 3 corners. It really does react well, especially that long left after the corkscrew and the kind of the flowy right after as well. So definitely a strong point for the Mazda. Yeah, Oily just being a bit cautious there on the mediums going through that section as well. Yeah, it's very early in the race, it's only 5 seconds behind just here.
Absolutely need to focus on the long game. In the background though, we can see Dartmouth and MCDC going nose to tail for 5th place. Crossing the start line, MCDC is right on the tail here. going to need a couple of tenths. He's going to move for the overtake in the braking zone. Darth Berserk giving plenty of room there, going, I can see this happening, and doesn't fight it too much, really just leaving that door nice and open, and allows a nice overtake there for MCDC.
Just have another Porsche ranging up behind him to cause more dramas. She's gone purple in sector 1 for participating there too, so definitely trying to make up for that early race issues.
So yeah, Suitlad, Maltmash and Idriski holding off on the podium at the moment. Maltmash is on softs compared to everybody else on mediums, but he is actually doing honestly pretty well for tyre wear, all things considered. So dare I say he'll get out to 8, 9, possibly even 10 laps on the set of softs. So really set himself up to a good position on mediums, and he'll actually be in a good spot. With the lighter fuel load, I reckon the mediums will actually play out well for him.
Yeah, I think the target was about 13 on mediums, but yeah, if you are finishing the race on them, you might be able to really push to 14, 15.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'll be handy if the softs don't quite get to that 10 lap target.
Yeah, absolutely. So Suitlad making a nice clean overtake there. Maltmash understanding the pace difference between the two drivers, allowed that overtake to happen, and has dropped down into third place, but looking to consolidate overall, I think, and Maltmash is doing a fantastic job there in second place. Suitlad definitely going to be on the hunt now for Midriski. That gap is 1.8 seconds. Let's see where it ends up in a couple of laps, but still, Oil in my blood in fourth on that absolute charge. That 5-second gap from last lap is down to just on 4 seconds, if not just under. So if Suitlad and Vidruski start going to battle, then that's just going to drag Oil up the chain as well.
I think Oil got a little excited seeing how close he's getting to Maltmash there, and just kind of broke a little too late coming into the corkscrew there. Caused him lose about half a second maybe, but yeah, Maltmash might find himself down in fourth before he gets the pits here, and then he'll also have the Porsche of MCDC right behind him if Oil can make the move. Inside info, are they going to play the team game here, and is Oil just going to sit behind him?
Inside info is absolutely no knowledge to me, but I do know both drivers very well, and Maltmash is not going to be holding up Oil in any way, shape or form, especially considering the form factor of Oil race 1 and 2. So dare I say there will be an easy overtake, but I don't know if Ash is going to completely fall off the side of the road. I'm going to let that happen.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, again, Oil's a 10th purple of sector 1. We'll just kind of see where the rest of that time kind of disappears to. In comparison to that purple time, so if I touch you.
Yeah, if we stay on with Oil, we'll see what he gets with on the end of second sector. But MCDC is sort of just lurking in the background there, 1.3 seconds to 1.1. MCDC with a great run through the King, actually. That's dropping down to about 8 tenths. So I think Oil in my blood might actually have a challenge with MCDC shortly. And where are we looking at for gaps? Yeah, 0.9 down, so not a great captain's king for Oil, unfortunately. And now, yeah, MCDC showing his nose. Maltmash jumping in. I
think it was one of those clench moments. I feel he came very, very close to that sausage on the inside, so just kind of wiped off that little bit extra speed just to make sure he avoided it, and that did compromise the run all the way up the hill. And MCDC is now only 3 tenths behind. So that kind of momentum's carried all the way down the hill and through the start-finish line. So we'll see if MCDC in that Porsche, which is honestly just getting quicker and quicker. You can see his lap times there. It is just insanely consistent. And he set his PB last lap on lap 9.
A lot of mid to low 22s versus Oil's the last couple of laps being 23.5. So maybe Oil's just pushed the mediums past where they are working optimally for him, and that gap to first place is just back under that 4-second mark. So it'll be interesting to see if MCDC wants to play the long game here, or says, "Hey, Oil, get out of my way. I want to try and catch up to the leaders."
Send it. It's definitely a tyre thing here. The tyres are so much better on MCDC's Porsche compared to Oil's Suzuki. Yeah, he's just
that front right has got a bit of an advantage on grip. Front left seems to be very, very close to each other. So interesting to see how the cars favour different tyres still. But yeah, all things considered, MCDC's tyres are looking just that touch better.
The only issue is oil will be very strong down the front straight. So the normal easiest passing move using turn 1, which the Porsche just can't keep up.
It does take away the easiest overtaking opportunity on the Grimstaker, the little Suzuki. It's an absolute powerhouse along the start finish, or on any straight really. But oil takes just a touch of dirt there on the exit. Oh, sorry, on the entrance and the exit. But staying fairly consistent with that sort of half a tenth purple on sector 1. But yeah, throughout the rest of the lap, it does drop right off. Midriski taking some dirt up in first place. Suitlad, nothing going for the last few laps, so still holding that sort of half a second gap.
I think they're in the about. I'd expect to see these guys come in probably in lap 13. Based on, although no, I think Midriski's going to come in a lot sooner. He'll only get maybe one more lap if he doesn't come in now, but 12 laps on softs will be a big ask. Yeah,
he's been burning through his tyres. I dare say he's got one more before he comes in. Is he going to make it? Yep, there we go. He's going again.
He has to, because otherwise softs will almost be. It's
very a big ask. 12 laps on a set of softs.
Where the tyres out now or in the next stint, either way, it's going to be a big job.
Either way, not great. Yep. And oil, really able to close that overall gap down to first, and MCDC's still hanging on, still in that sort of 4 to 5, 6/10 gap, and oil making it really difficult to achieve any form of overtake. So really, I think that track position for oil at the moment is just something to keep.
Well, the other thing, oil's is back into the mid-22s again though too, so that's also helped.
Yeah,
so
very true.
A couple 23s there, but he's really recovered again and got stuck back into it.
Yeah, got his head back into the game and pulled out some really good lap times. Considering the tyre age as well, staying in a consistent mid to low 22s is fantastic for both drivers. Oh, MCDC is in the dirt. Captain's Kink has tapped the wall on the outside as well. Yet another, Herb's spot on there.
And he's outbraked himself with the corkscrew.
Again, so easy to do with dirty tyres. It's really just relieved oil from all of that pressure that he was doing so well to keep up with. Keep on. Midriski going around again. That front right is absolutely howling. I don't see much grip being left on that at the end of lap 13 here, but he's going for it. He obviously doesn't want to do any more than 10 laps on a set of softs, so interesting to see if Suitlad might be able to notice Midriski's pace drop and try for an overtake just before they come into the pits, or who knows. Suitlad has actually been burning through a bit of fuel here as well. He's just under half a tank, so I wonder if he's going to need to take a bit of a splash. Everybody else is actually sitting fairly well on fuel, so Suit, unless he's got something up his sleeve, is potentially not looking too good for fuel.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be short shifting.
Oh, he's side by side with Midriski.
Position.
He absolutely is.
Done, but
at what cost though, I wonder? He's obviously burning through the fuel. Midriski does let that happen though, which is definitely introducing oil in my blood at that 1.1 second gap at Midriski's front right.
Absolutely almost lost it at the corkscrew.
Midriski takes that position straight back. Oh, that's unfortunate, but really, it just bunches up this top three. Oil going, thank you very much guys for the battle, you're bringing me right back into this thing. Midriski's in, Suitlad and Oil going around again. Interesting to see.
I think there were a few which were aiming for lap 14, 15 and then finishing only on 8 or 9 on the softs. And the tyre wear kind of projects that Suitlad could easily finish 14, Oil probably get to 15.
Yeah, Oil, the tyre master, he has returned. So DCE and Dars Berserk in the pits as well as an overall update. But yeah, Oil and
the undercut's strong though.
Battle for first.
undercut is strong though, so if I'm Oil, I'm doing... Actually, no, I'm just taking... Oh, I'd be pitting now anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Oil all over the back of Suitlad. I think Suitlad might have realised that he's in trouble for fuel. He is not looking good in comparison. He's used to roughly a quarter of a tank, maybe just under a quarter of a tank extra than Oil. So if there's any sort of splash of fuel, then yeah, Oil's certainly going to jump. And MCDC has made actually a very good recovery and is now sitting 1.5 seconds behind Oil.
Yeah, he's still back in the 22s now. And the tyre wear's still there. He can go another... I don't know how many laps? Two more laps. He can get to lap 16 if he really wanted to. Suits in. 34%. That's
39
difficult.
for MCDC.
I think most people were even over 40 by this time in the earlier lobby, but yeah, 34%. That is... We'll see if he has to put a splash in. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Going for 9 laps there is yeah, going to be a big ask. Wait, 9? Yeah, 9 laps for Suitlad. Rolling into the pit box. Tyres changed.
Yeah, MCDC, he's got much better tyre wear than Viper's Fang as well.
Suitlad takes a splash. And unfortunately is jumped by the likes of MCDC there.
And who's just coming around the outside here? Oh, what? Suitlad's gone through him on the pit exit. Oh no,
yeah, no, he's jumped back out. Maltmash throwing his face in the ring again as well, just pulling in behind MCDC and Suitlad. Oil in my blood though, 23.9 seconds to Risky. That is awfully tight for a pit stop around the Minnesota, I think. Is he going to come in this lap? His rear right is screaming, surely. There we go. Oil's coming in. Oil with 39% fuel still has more than what Suitlad did with 1 extra lap of racing too, so interesting. But all eyes on Madruski, he's 9/10 purple. We have said the undercut is strong here, so Oil's going to have his work cut out for him, I think, but he is also going to have the fresher tyres and be able to run quite confidently on 8 laps at full pace. Madruski rounding this last corner here, coming down the start-finish straight. Where is Oil? He's just getting his tyres on. I think Madruski's going to jump him. Yeah, he absolutely is. 21.4. Oil coming out of the pits now. Going to have his work cut out for him to both catch up to and overtake Madruski, but MCDC and Suitlad, is he going to hold them out? This is going to be tight. This is going to be tight. Oil does hold out track position on MCDC and Suitlad. Nice fresh tyres there. Oil is going to suffer for the first sort of half a lap. Really has to bring those tyres up to temp. But once that happens, he's going to be a force. But 5 seconds of Madruski there. It's a big ask.
Tyre at the end for Madruski, I think, might just close it up in his last 2 or 3 laps. I think that might be the deciding factor, really.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And considering Madruski's tyre wear from the mediums being pretty much used through to 100%, is going to carry across to the softs. And I'm going to peg lap 21.
It's half a second already.
Half second on Oil without lap. Yeah, that's huge. That is huge. Although Madruski and Suitlad still staying with us, so it's turned into a very interesting last sort of 4 laps if we can introduce Madruski into the mix and to see who can get the overtakes done.
This is quite funny actually. Oil just needs to lead the way and slowly really Madruski here. Madruski really needs MCDC or Suitlad to try and start making moves and hold everyone up. So man, who's prayed the hardest here?
It's fantastic to see some differing strategies too, and see how different things play out. Jumping down into 5th and 6th, Maltmash and Darth Berserk are going hard at it. Darth Berserk throwing everything in the kitchen table at him at the moment. There's just nothing going. So interesting to see the mediums still being able to hold pace to the soft runners. So Maltmash making things difficult for both Darth and probably Viper's as well, holding them both up.
Darth's still got the traction control issue hampering his ability though.
Oh, Darth tried to
going
make a
wide.
move for Captain's Kink and yeah, just take some dirt, so that's going to drop him out of that battle, unfortunately. He introduces Viper's Fang to say, hey mate, I've got the job done, made a small mistake. Let's see what we can do. Midriski holding out that 4.5 second gap at the moment though, back up in first place. Although that tyre wear is astronomical in comparison. Oil's really looked after his first couple of laps so far. And 1 minute 20.5 at 8.9 to Midriski's 1 minute 20.576. These guys are on absolute fire. We call it Div 1.5 for a reason. This is top half of Div 1 pace easy for Midriski, Oil, MCDC and Super. They're all doing fantastic times here. So one of those things, they just need to keep it nice and clean. And honestly, they'd be able to hang at the top of the league.
Yeah, it's good to see such strength across the divisions here, especially around this track. Because yeah, you could just throw any of these guys in there, and they would have been competitive in the earlier race tonight, just based on these lap times alone. And I think it was both lobbies. I think had the exact same settings for races this time through. So definitely comparing it like for like here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the fuel, just quick, Midriski, Oil and Blood, MCDC and Suitlad, all obviously good to go to the end. Suit's sitting on quite a bit of fuel, so dare I say we might see a bit of a move from him in the later half of this stint. But did have to take that little splash, so I think that might have actually hurt him overall and probably could have been sitting in the front of Oil. All things considered.
Yeah. He'll be burning a lot more fuel. He's got a little bit more, but he will be using more per lap. So yeah, we'll just see if he can get the move done. That's the toughest thing at the moment around this track. Is where do you get the move? It's difficult to line it up. You've really got to work on it for a good few laps to get the spot right.
And even then, most of the time, it does take a small mistake from the driver in front to be able to get that overtake done. It's one of those things that a poor exit from the driver in front on the last sharp left-hander is going to open up that run down into turn 1 and actually allow that overtake to happen. So yeah, it's tight. On the topic of tight, Molten Ash, Viper's Fang, Darth Berserk still going hard at it for that 5th position. And again, that speed, that pace of the Suzuki down the start-finish straight really just hampers any overtaking opportunities.
Well, we might see Fireworks again. Last lap, Vipers really went for a bit of a move on this right-hander second last corner.
Oh, he's trying to go around the outside of Molten Ash here, and he actually gets it done.
Yeah, he tried to get a move done here last lap. There's a bit of contact, nothing too major, but just kind of brought Darth Berserk back into the battle from it. So good to see him get the move done a corner earlier this time when men around the outside. Always a good move to see.
That is, yeah, seldom seen as an overtaking opportunity through that corner, but again, probably highlights the difference between, soft and rear, soft and mediums and the Armada FR. Darth Berserk taking that opportunity as well. Molten Ash without a great run on the start finish, or onto the start finish straight, and even with that traction control still giving him grief, has been able to take that position off Molten Ash, moving up into 6th.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a buffer to DCE back behind about 10 seconds now, so I'd expect Molten Ash to definitely hold on.
Jumping back up the front if we can, Herbs. This gap has absolutely been demolished by Oil. Now sub 1 second between Midriski and Oil in the Blood. That was, I think, 4.5 seconds last time I looked, about a lap or two ago. So Oil setting the fastest lap with a 20.4. That is insane. And,
love the consistency.
Really really honing down. So that 20.4 on lap 19 versus Midriski's 22.4. So 2 seconds in 1 lap. That's insane.
And he's taking another 6/10 this lap here, both back in the 21s right now, but the tyre wear difference, he's got 3 laps to try and hold on, Midriski, and that front right, I'd expect it to be calling it quits at about 2.5 laps from here.
Yeah, I'm honestly thinking he'll get sort of, or you can already see he's starting to get nice and taily on the corner exits. Something the Lexus does do at the best of times anyway, but given the tyre wear, it's obviously going to make it worse. But yeah, that front right, I honestly I don't think there'll be much left of it after lap 22.
From speaking with some of the other guys earlier though, getting down to that much tyre wear left and for a lap, it's only going to cost them about a second or so. Given how difficult it is to pass around here, that may not be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, all things considered, Midriski's played his cards fairly well. Yeah, look, he could potentially hold out for a podium here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. It's just going to come down to how he can navigate the no tyre wear on the. It's likely to happen come final lap.
Absolutely. So Oil with a fairly decent run out of that corner, using that firm in that slipstream of Midriski. Is he going to make him go around the outside? It looks like he is. That's a tough ask, but Oil hard under brakes. Midriski not making it easy though, giving him plenty of space. Midriski with that tighter, quicker inside line. It's making it more difficult for Oil than any of the other overtakes we've seen so far, which is going to introduce MCDC. But Oil in my blood has got that pace. I dare say he's going to be wanting to get around it pretty quickly here. Midriski staying defensive though. Oil with a late switch under brakes. Nice, clean, quick, decisive move. Gets the job done. Midriski's front tyres are absolutely roasted though, so I'm not surprised to see Oil in my blood with an easy 50-60% worth of tyre left versus Midriski's 5 to 10. Although Midriski holding on very well, all things considered. So honestly, I think he'll still be able to hold out for a podium position here. Possibly even hold out on the second if he can defend like he did with Oil for one more lap.
Well, yeah. Comparing fuel, I don't think anyone's going to have much issue, but it looks like MCDC is definitely closest to target 0 at this point. He may even get things done into turn 1 actually. He's pulled up the side and...
Looking like he's getting it done through the start-finish kink. He is on the preferable inside line too. The Porsche's fantastically strong on the brakes. Gets the move done. Midriski now going to come under 5 from Suitlad, so my prediction of holding on to a podium is it might happen. But gonna have to take some strong defending.
He's a bit wide in the dirt there. Suitlad really trying to line it up, but it's hard to get a move done into this turn. He's on the wrong side and there's too much of an overlap. No, he's trying to cross back, but no.
Under brakes, nothing going there. Midriski's front right, absolutely demolished. Nothing left on it.
He's got the run here. He's got the run.
Yeah, that corner exit pace with front grip is absolutely showing why it's so useful.
Is MCDC going to make it home on fuel? He should do,
it's right on the edge.
It's making me nervous right here.
I mean, it runs on the smell of an oily rag, but it's tight. It is incredibly tight.
There's almost no red left at the moment.
Back up to the front though, Oil rounding the final corner of race 3 on his way to take all 3 victories.
Clean sweep.
Absolute clean sweep. I can't talk now. He's got me so excited. Oil for race 3 victory. MCDC does cross the line with absolutely no fuel in second place. Suitlad for third and Midriski holding out a very well earned 4th place with absolutely no tyres left on the front and all the right rear.
Lifers for 5th, same thing with the fuel, almost none left. Darth Berserk, looks like he struggled the last lap or 2. He's coming home for 6th, good job for him to finish that off. DCE for 7th. Molten Ash coming through to take 8th spot. And then Gitman rounding up the field. Looks like Touchy's had enough of the traction control and has really just had to give it a miss. But yeah, Gimp really nursing it home. He's got no front right, pretty much almost no front left.
Yeah, unfortunate for Gimp. He's not had the greatest race for race 3. A couple of mistakes and a couple of dramas. He is stopped on the line, wanting to milk his time at the limelight. Crosses over and takes out 9th place. Still finishing the race, takes the well-earned points nonetheless.
so, man. I saw Oil online a couple of days ago. I'm not sure he would have expected a clean sweep a few days ago. So really good to see those times out of him tonight. Really good to see.
Fantastic to see him back at the pointy end. He's had a couple of seasons where he's not been fighting for podiums, let alone race wins, and to run out and take first, second, and third in the opening season of 2023. Outstanding, absolutely outstanding. Really happy for him. Of course, fantastic to see, and super happy for my own team, 13R Autosport, to be on the podium and take out 3 race wins is it's no more words.
Yeah, it's good to see some of the old names, some of the old guys come, really get those results back. I know he doesn't get on to practice as much as he used to, so that's also a big part of it. But yeah, really good to see him back up there, and hope he can continue that the rest of the season.
Yep, absolutely agreed. And without a doubt, MCDC and Suitlab putting in great drives for race 3, and really showing their worth there, taking out podium places as well. Well, Dale, thank you for joining me here in the comms box tonight, and Herbs, thank you very much for bringing us our visuals. It's been fantastic calling the first round back with you two. Hopefully we will see a lot more track action, and again, a massive thanks to our sponsors, title sponsor Permobile. We have also got Hybrid Ag, 180 Embroidery, and Easy Clean on board with us for this season. Gents, fantastic calling with you tonight. We'll wrap things up, and we'll see everybody on a future stream.
Awesome, yeah. Thanks for having us. Good night, everyone. See you next week.